Kara Neighbor is joining us, right?
Yes,
Yay.
he'll be here shortly. Where is everybody joining us from this evening? I'm in Athens, Greece.
Amanda.
Good morning. I'm in Perth, so it's not this evening. It's 6 a.m. on Friday in Western Australia.
Wow, that's amazing. Boston.
Ontario, Canada. Boston. Eva Mossberg is joining from Boston. Oh, Jody, you're in Long Island today? All right.
Yeah, we'll just give one more minute for people to join. But as you're joining, please add in the chat where you're calling in from. So far, we've got some pretty worldwide representation, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is exciting.
Tokyo, I love it. Welcome from Colorado.
Kara, are you from Colorado?
Yes.
Yes, you are, right?
Yeah,
that's a family there, right? Awesome.
And for the Canadian guests, we're going to be live in Ottawa, Canada on the 18th. So that event is on my Facebook page, but we're really excited. That's only our second live event since 1.5 years. So Ottawa, Canada, that's going to be at a restaurant, Latique, I think it's called. But all of the information is on the Facebook page.
Looks like we have a few more people joining. Hello, everyone. As you're signing on, please feel free to put in the chat where you're calling in from. And we'll get started in just a minute.
Vinci, do you think you can share my page to the Facebook?
Oh, yeah, cool. I get to meet.
Hi, Neda.
Hi, Nika.
Hello.
Sure, I think I have a QR code. Hang on. Love without borders. The link of your website, right?
To the Facebook page. I think
To
I
the
have
Facebook
all of
page.
the events that are updated. Yes,
Right.
for Canada.
Okay. 1 second.
Thank you.
I just shared it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
A lot of people from Colorado. That's nice. Welcome.
So exciting. We're expecting 45 attendees tonight, if they're all joining.
Great.
Give it one more minute. Mary Pat. Shall we get started, Vinci?
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead.
Great. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Refugee Resilience Through Art and Exhibition. My name is Megan Begley, and I'm the Senior Manager of Fundraising and Donor Engagement at the Rise Travel Institute. We are thrilled that you have all joined us at this special event in support of Love Without Borders for refugees in need. If you haven't already, please feel free to drop in the chat where you're calling in from. So far, we've covered almost all corners of the globe with Australia, Japan, Greece, the US. It's really fun to see. So thank you so much for being here. Before we get started with the program, just want to mention a few housekeeping items. First, we are recording the program this evening, just so you know. Please keep yourself on mute throughout the event just to minimize background noise. If you have a question or comment during the event, you can just type it in the chat and our team will respond. We will also have a Q&A session at the end where you'll be able to unmute and ask questions. To cut down on the carbon footprint of our events, we would usually ask everyone to turn their cameras off. But for this event, since we're all gathered here in support of refugees, we just thought it'd be nice for everyone to keep their cameras on so that everyone can see the support that's being received and the love that's going around tonight. So please keep your cameras on as you are comfortable. All the art that you'll see this evening is available for purchase, and all proceeds will go directly to the artists and their families. We will be selling items on a first come, first served basis, so we will not be bidding for the artwork. I will give you more specific instructions on how to claim the art pieces a little bit later in the program. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Vinci Ho, the founder and executive director of Rise Travel Institute.
Thank you, Megan. All right, let me share my screen. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us today at this very exciting event. Before we introduce our friends at Love Without Borders for Refugees in Need, let me first say a few words about who we are and the purpose of this event. First of all, for those who are not familiar with RISE, we are a 501c3, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and our mission is to inspire responsible, impactful, sustainable, and ethical travel through education. So our online educational curriculum on sustainable travel and anti-oppression through systems thinking consists of our cohort-based flagship certificate program that runs twice a year, as well as asynchronous short courses like the one that we just released today on vaccine equity and the ethics of travel during a pandemic. So themes about social justice, animal protection, and environmental sustainability in relation to travel. So to learn more about us, who we are and what we do, please visit our website. You can scan this QR code or go to risetravelinstitute.org. So through this art exhibition, we aim to help bring awareness to the global refugee crisis and to share the link between travel, migration, and forced displacement. Travel in the broadest sense of the word means to go from one place to another. It's only modern day usage of the word that makes us equate travel and leisure travel and tourism. Migration and forced displacement are examples of travel as they involve a journey from one place to another, but it's just the experience involved that is very different. Refugees often travel hundreds of miles without any aid and with very little money for food and shelter. The journey is often dangerous and many people do not survive, unfortunately. But for those that do, they will begin another challenging journey in their new home as they seek safety, financial stability, and a better life for them and their families. So this event is a great opportunity for us travelers to support this vulnerable community and celebrate their resilience, and at the same time benefit from a virtual travel experience through the art and the stories of all the refugees that we're going to, all the refugee artists that we're going to feature tonight. So today we're extremely fortunate to have two distinguished speakers joining us from Greece at 1 a.m. local time. Martinez is the director of Love Without Borders for Refugees in Need. I met her in 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the year. And since then, we've collaborated on a couple of initiatives before, and then we became good friends. Then we have also, pardon me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, Noa Afanwi Neba. So Neba is one of our refugee artist friends who Kara works closely with, and he's from Cameroon, currently seeking asylum in Greece. So just very quickly, here are some photos of a refugee art exhibition that Kara and I put together 3 years ago in Hong Kong. It was a very successful event. We had more than 100 attendees, and we were able to collaborate with a few local refugee empowerment nonprofits and a couple of local schools, high schools and primary schools. Students created art in response to the art and stories by the refugee artists, and it was a beautiful exchange. And then here are some photos of an art workshop in Athens, a space where Love Without Borders used to Love Without Borders refugee artists, they used to hang out and create art. So here are a few friends and colleagues of mine who just happened to be in Athens that summer at the same time that I and my husband were visiting. And that summer same summer, there were very bad wildfires that were spreading everywhere in Greece, burning down entire towns and villages. So this refugee artist to the right here, together with the others, created art to raise funds for the locals, like for the Greeks affected by the wildfires. And that really shows us the beauty of humanity. Kara, who is a true humanitarian at heart, is a superwoman to me. In addition to her flight attendant job, she never stops, and she's constantly helping someone. Refugees who don't have a place to sleep, refugees who don't have food on the table, or dogs and cats in the refugee camps that need to be taken care of or rehomed. She's everywhere, and tonight we're so lucky to have her here with us. I'll let her tell you more about herself. But before I pass the microphone to her, here's a short interview on NBC about her, NBC News about her work. So let me share that. Yeah, sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, here it is. Can you see the screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear anything? No.
Yeah, I'm getting you.
I'll try again. Can you hear? No. All right. Great. Technical difficulty. I will share this link in the chat so one of my teammates can perhaps help me share this. Let me just close the screen. All right. Meredith, would you like to help me share this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. We're just going to wait for this ad to be done. Then.
Second counts, or teaching biology without a lab. We are the leader in 5G and a partner who delivers exceptional customer support and 5G included in every plan. So you get it all without trade-offs. Unconventional thinking. It's better for business.
Can everyone hear?
In this living room turned art studio, children from Syria and Iraq paint sunsets and family homes, their dreams and their realities.
This is theirs. This is the toilets.
The refugee camp in northern Greece, home to Mahmoud Ismail and hundreds more.
It's a difficult life.
Yes, this is the difficult life.
This refugee camp is just south of the Macedonian border and the route into Western Europe. At one point, 4,000 refugees were being housed here. Most of them, some 80%, women and children. Kids in limbo, without school or playgrounds. Until American aid worker Kara Martinez stepped in. Every day, she takes a dozen kids out of the camp for a bit of freedom and art therapy.
I think the children have gone through so much, so I'm happy that we found something that can make them happy.
And put the things in my mind on the painting.
Get them out of your mind.
Yes.
And into something else.
Because I don't want to say it in painting, I put it.
Bad memories and future wishes.
What is your dream for the future?
Go to America.
Mahmoud may not be there yet, but his art is. Paintings from dozens of kids, now part of a traveling exhibit in the U.S.
This one stood out to me in particular, kind of just as a really powerful picture in itself.
They sell for $20 each, the money going directly back to the kids. The Tim family want to send a message back, too.
There are good people in America that are willing to do what we can from thousands of miles away to help poor, unfortunate children.
For Mahmoud and the other kids, it's a message that doesn't just mean help, but hope.
What do you think about Kara?
If all the people like Kara, the world's gonna be peace.
Kelly Kobiella, NBC News, Greece.
So without further ado, let me introduce Kara Martinez, my good friend who is here tonight, calling in from Greece at 1 a.m. So we're very excited to listen to your story, Kara. So take it over.
Thank you so much, Vinci. It's good to connect with you again. And I'm so thankful for you and your team. I really appreciate your support and all of the people that came out this evening to join us. It's just the third event since COVID has shut us down. So we're very excited to be with everybody this evening and to share our project and our story. So in 2015, I was based in Frankfurt, Germany with United Airlines. And I saw on the television how thousands of people were flooding into Germany. And I had never been to Syria. I had never been to Afghanistan, Iraq. I didn't know anybody from these countries, but I realized that the people needed help. And as I didn't have much background, I just simply watched the news. And at one point, I decided to create some action. I asked how I could help. They needed clothes. So I organized on Facebook to get clothes, and I took them to the local train station in Frankfurt. And when they found out that I spoke German and that I had a lot of time off, I was in there for life. And I started to help every day on my days off. And I think the thing that changed for me was to see these families that were fleeing from different countries. And I just realized it could be my sister or my brother or my father. And I thought, this is your calling. And I started to get involved in Frankfurt, and I worked every day as much as I could to help the people. And I started to form friendships and to understand a little bit more about the situations they were in. And I also realized that my time was so important and so valuable to supporting these people. And I started going to different countries, to Hungary and Serbia and other countries. And when I finally got to Greece, I realized that that's the place that I needed to stay, because there weren't very many resources and it wasn't very organized. And so when I got there, I remember there was a strike on the island of Ledos, and there were people everywhere on the ground. There were small babies and women, pregnant women. And I simply went to the crowd of people because there was nobody. I had no crew. I was just on my own. And I think maybe perhaps from my flight attendant background, just to be very resourceful for what I had, I got people in the crowd that spoke English. We went to the supermarket, bought massive amounts of food and started distributing. And that was literally the first day in Greece that I experienced the situation. And since then, I really haven't stopped. I spend all my days off, my vacations in Greece as much as I can. I still fly pretty much full time with United. However, I realized from being in Greece on the ground what the people needed. And I started to work in a refugee camp in northern Greece. And because I don't have a background in this field, my first step was just to go with Mahmoud, the young boy that you saw on the video. We went into the tents, we sat down with the people, and we listened. And if there's anything that I can take back from all of those years of being here in Greece, it's to listen to the people and to not make your own decisions, your judgments, or ideas, but just to simply listen, because the people have stories that you can never imagine, and their path is so different than mine. And so it's very hard for us to imagine what they went through. But once I was able to sit down and really listen to the people, I started to become very innovative. And I registered as a nonprofit in 2017. And I slowly started to bring, as you saw, those papers and crayons into the refugee camp to let the children paint and draw and express themselves. And I didn't realize the power of art until I started to get these images back. And then I knew that art was going to be a very big part of our project. And I bought the best quality of canvases, acrylics, and paintbrushes. And I rented a house near the camp in Nea Kavala. And as you saw on the video, I let them paint. I didn't have any prerequisite, what they could draw, what they had to draw. It wasn't about that. It was simply just to give them the colors and to let them heal. And so since 2016 up until now, we have managed to facilitate with amazing artists like Niba and Ahmed and Cedric and many people from our own community, these wonderful workshops to allow people to paint from dozens of different countries. And so we've been traveling with the art since 2017, and we've gone to 115 different cities around the world on 4 different continents to spread the word, because it's not just about the art, it's very much about awareness so that other children can learn. People all the way in San Francisco, we've spoken at dozens of schools in California and made them aware about the children on the other side of the world. And we're really pleased to announce that we've had also the completion of a refugee curriculum that we're sharing now with teachers in the US. So we're very excited about all of these projects that we've been able to create during our time. And just to highlight about the personal stories about the artists, not the refugee, but about the artist, about the teacher, about the lawyer, and to bring their personal stories to you. And I think that's the most important thing. is just to change the whole story, because it could be your family and somebody that you know going through this situation. And so I think it's really important and really wonderful to see that 25 people tonight have stepped out of their comfort zone and taken some time to listen. And we're just very thankful that we have a really strong support around the world to listen to the stories and to realize that sometimes you can't change the situation, you can't resolve the refugee crisis, but you can purchase one piece of art to support one artist, one person that's going through a very challenging time, and motivate them, give them confidence, and empower them. So I would like to, at this point, turn it over to Niba. It's really wonderful to have you here and speak with us, Niba. And I'm very grateful that you're a part of our community. And I thank you for your time with all of those kids, the dozens and dozens of kids. So welcome.
Niba, you're on mute.
Am I good now? Okay, I'm sorry. Hi, everyone. My name is Neba. I'm from Cameroon, and I've been a refugee in Greece since 2018. It was a very difficult journey for me to leave my country and to move all the way from Nigeria and going through difficulties and challenges that is happening back in Africa, and only to find myself in Turkey, which I was told by a friend who wanted to help me in Turkey that there is a means to go to Greece, because if I stay in Turkey, I would not have a good life and things are very difficult there. And at some point, I thought he was telling me I would use a boat, a drive to go to Greece, because we have a borderline with Greece, and not knowing that at some point I will find myself at the beach of the sea and looking for means to go through the sea into Greece. And so I had to meet this guy, and it was a very difficult situation for me, because we went through a darkness in the midnight, walking close to the sea, and you find so many other people who are struggling to make their way over to Greece, and we will be put in a balloon, like 80 person in a small balloon, and be forced to our way to Greece. So we arrived Greece, and it was a very difficult situation as well, living in the refugee camp, because it's a camp which was created for about 1,000 people, but we were like 3,500 people in this refugee camp, and the conditions were not good at all. And at some point, there is organizations that are opening college for language, how to learn how to speak the Greek language, and maybe German and other European languages. So in this organization, this is where I started volunteering as an art teacher to my fellow brothers and other refugees. So I was teaching art in this college, and not long enough, I met a friend who told me about Kara, and that she's gonna come to my island where I was located. And then when she came to this island, we spoke a little bit about art, and I told her the arts I am creating is like the first art I'm creating in Greece. And then she took the art, and few days she told me she sold the art for 250 euro, and all this money was given to me, and I was like, this was like the first smile on my face in the island. And not long from then, I started to create art to encourage myself and to believe that even if I've lost everything back from my country, I still have hope. And I started to paint more and more until I was transferred to the main city, where I had to face another difficulties in my life in the journey of going to Europe. So at some point, I was transferred to a refugee camp where we have little kids for about 3 to 7 years. And I told Kara that we are having kids in our refugee camp, that they would love to, we would love to introduce them into art so they could share with us their moments. And she had to buy canvas for all of these kids. And we had a workshop that was really amazing. And we haven't stopped doing what we're doing from then. I've been working hand in hand with Kara in order to teach some kids that find difficulties in painting. And this is how I have been contributing as well with Love Without Borders. And we had an exhibition in Germany, and I was the one who went there to try to speak on behalf of the other refugees and share a little bit about their stories. So we haven't stopped doing what we're doing, and we're just putting more effort that we could help and share with other people who are really vulnerable. So yeah, I'm very grateful to meet you guys. We have so much to talk, but I think the time is limited.
Yes, thank you, Neba, for sharing your story. Your courage and perseverance are incredibly inspiring. Thank you for being here tonight and sharing with us. And thank you, Kara, for the work that you're doing and bringing these stories to us this evening. So now we will turn to the exhibition part of the evening, where we'll get to view the artwork created by refugee women and children living in Greece. As we show the artwork, our team will read the bio of each artist so that we can learn a little about their stories. The pieces will be shown along with the cost to purchase each piece. And at any time, if you would like to purchase an item, please type in the chat your full name and the number of the piece that you wish to purchase. Each artwork will have a number that corresponds with it. Once you've been identified as the purchaser, our team will private message you for your contact information, your email, and your mailing address. The items will be claimed on a first come, first served basis. So if you put your info in, but you aren't the first person to claim that artwork, you'll be put on a waiting list for the piece. The buyer will be responsible for the shipping costs. And in addition, if you would like to pay more than the list price in order to further support the artist, please just let us know what amount you wish to pay for your artwork. And once we've received your mailing address, we'll be able to provide you with a quote of the total amount, including the shipping, via email within a couple of days. All payments will go directly to Love Without Borders for Refugees in Need, which is a registered 501c3 nonprofit. And all different payment methods will be communicated in that same email after the event. So no need to have payment ready this evening. Your purchase will take approximately 2 weeks to ship. Unless you're far away like Japan or Australia, it might take a little longer. If you are in the New York or New Jersey area, we can arrange for a direct pickup because the art is at Vinci's house in New Jersey. So before we begin, any questions on the process? Yeah, Steve.
Yes, thanks so much. In terms of putting in our name, should we send that to everybody or just to you, Megan, or is one person in particular collecting the names and numbers?
Yes, one person will be collecting them. So if you want to claim it, just send it to everyone. And then Meredith will be collecting the information and she will direct message you for your contact information. Great. But if you claim it, then we can all see that it's been claimed if you send it to everyone.
Okay, thanks very much.
Any other questions? Great. I think we'll start.
Shall we start? Okay.
Yeah.
Jody.
Hi, everyone. Olivia is our first artist. She's 27 years old and from Cameroon, a country on the Gulf of Guinea in Central Africa. She arrived in Greece in November 2017 and currently lives in Athens. When she first arrived in Greece on Chios Island, she was pregnant with twins. She was later transferred to Athens to deliver her babies on an emergency basis. She's waiting the decision on her asylum application in Greece. All of her family is in Cameroon. Before coming to Greece, Olivia worked in sales in a bookshop. She started making art when she came to Greece and learned about the Love Without Borders program. Her work is inspired by the art of others and also from the creative impulses of her own heart. When asked for 3 words to describe her character, she offered these: simple, smile, and happy. When she makes art, she feels so happy, like in another world. I forget everything. When not creating art or taking care of her babies, she loves to make African food. Her dream is to have a good job and take care of herself and her children. She said, I would love to learn more about art in the future.
So here's another piece of art by Olivia, the same refugee artist.
The next artist is Shanaz. Shanaz is from Afghanistan and she's 28 years old. She came to Greece in the fall of 2018 and she first arrived to Greece on the island of Lesbos. Currently, she's living in Athens where she's with her son and her husband, but because they don't have a home, they're not living together. She doesn't have any relatives in Europe, so she asked for asylum papers in Greece. She's patient and she tries to be strong in the face of her problems, even though she is an emotional person. She didn't paint in her home country. She went to a class in Lesbos and they helped her learn. She says, when I'm painting, it helps me feel calm. She went to school in Afghanistan until the 5th grade, and her dream is to continue her studies and to have a successful family.
So this artist has 3 pieces of artwork here, number 3, 4, and 5. Oh, by the way, we're going to show all the work again. We're going to do another round. Once we've went through all the 25 pieces of artwork, we'll show you all of them once again so that you have a second chance to look at them.
Okay, I think that's me. Zakira is the next artist. And she is 26 years old and from Afghanistan. She's married with 2 children, 1 girl and 1 boy. She was pregnant when she arrived by sea to the island of Lesbos in Greece in the spring of 2019. They lived in the Moria refugee camp. When their child was born, they were considered a vulnerable family. In Afghanistan, she was a seamstress, and she started to paint for the first time in early 2020. While living as a refugee in Moria, she decided to show the suffering of the people to the world through her paintings. She wanted to tell everyone that a refugee is not a sinner. He or she is just a fugitive from war who is looking for peace. Sorry, this is very emotional. When she's painting, it inspires her, frees her mind, and gives her energy. When someone sees her painting, she wants them to know how it makes them, she wants to know how it makes them feel. She would love to have the opportunity to continue her education, and if not, she will continue painting. She loves Bob Ross paintings and likes to exercise with her daughter. Her wish is for a country to accept her as a human being and to live peacefully with her family.
Fatima is 17 years old and from Afghanistan. When she first arrived in Greece in the spring of 2019, she went to the refugee camp on the island of Lesbos. Now she lives with her parents and her brother in Athens. Her grandmother's family lives in Germany. Her situation as a refugee is very hard. She said she's been creating art for 5 years. She uses her creativity for paintings and sometimes mixes designs together. She said she likes to learn and study art. When painting, she feels very relaxed and it gives her a beautiful feeling. She likes when people see her art and hopes they learn something from it and see something meaningful in it. Encouraging others makes her feel very good and proud of her work. Her favorite artist is Picasso. Besides doing art, she likes to do sports. She likes doing exercise, and when not painting, she likes to spend time with her friends. While in the camp, Fatima taught art to children. Even the hard situations did not stop her from teaching. In the future, she hopes to be a successful teacher so that she can teach beauty to the children. Her enthusiasm leads her to success, and she will fight for it as long as she's alive.
Next up is Nazcal. She is 19 years old and from Iran. She came to Greece when she was 17 with her father, but he was deported back to Iran not long after they arrived. She endured many hardships in Greece, both in the refugee camps and in Athens, alone without her father. That is, until she started painting again. She had been interested in painting ever since she was a child. As long as she can remember, she always painted. And even though she didn't have the support of her family, for a while she even took classes and learned many basic techniques. Where she's from, women do not get to choose their paths, which is one of the reasons she came to Europe. Her family wanted her to have freedoms. Nazcal always tries to express her feelings when she paints, or to create more conceptual pieces about her life or the lives of others. It's very important to her that painting is based on reality. However, sometimes she also creates fantasy paintings, which allow her to live in her imagination and to find an escape from reality sometimes. In Greece, she says, we immigrants are deprived of our rights and life can be hell sometimes. So in fact, the only thing that matters to me now is to live a quiet and trouble-free life in a corner of the world. It doesn't matter to me what country I go to. The only thing that matters to me is peace. I seek peace. Her wish is for every artist to have the opportunity to express their talents and leave a positive legacy for others in the future. She leaves us with this: may your souls be brightened with our talent.
The next artist has a few pieces of artwork. So I'm going to show them all while Megan is reading her bio.
Yes, this artist is Amol Banan. Not sure if I'm saying that right. She started painting with acrylic paint in Lesbos in a Hope Project. She is 19 years old and from Afghanistan. Her city in Afghanistan isn't safe, and there is not any school for girls, and the girls cannot go outside from their house. After she was out, she could draw and sketch, and she tried and then could paint. She is now a painter. Her hope for everyone is peace together. She wants one world safe for all, and no war and no illiteracy, and one world. She wishes the best for all people. She says, if you want to achieve something because you want to, then you can.
The next artist is Obaid. She's a professional sculptor, architect, and visual artist from Yemen. When she was 7, she began creating drawings and paintings with her sisters. The 3 of them grew up encouraging, teaching, and learning from each other. They all studied different crafts of the art at university. She received a bachelor's degree in architecture, partly inspired by Da Vinci's brilliance to intertwine art with science. Throughout the early stages of the war, she stayed in Yemen as a teacher and activist, doing all in power to stand up for her country, which was becoming more lost by the day. But like so many thousands of others, it was her art and her activism that finally forced her to leave or face death. Throughout her life and her journey, she's learned there are several instruments for humanity that can be used to help achieve peace. The most important of all these is she considers to be art. Any type of artistic creation is capable of carrying the messages of humanitarianism, politics, and basic civil rights to everyone in the world. In her art, she tries to use a wide variety of materials to represent that all of us are capable of coming together to create the foundation which will establish the true image of what we wish our world to be. She says she's continually creating her new life and hopes soon to find enough stability and success to free her family from the war and dangers in Yemen. Artistically, her life's goal is to create the world's largest mural. She said her hope is this project will be a representation of the power and ability we all have to unite in solidarity, to force attention to the calls of peace and unity among all people, cultures, and nations, and inspire us all to understand the precious relationship not only between each other, but with our natural world and environment as well.
Our next artist is Zara. She's 16 years old and from Afghanistan. She likes to read novels, surf the net, play badminton, and paint. And lasagna is her favorite food. Her dream is to one day be a cardiologist.
Next artist is Arena, and she is 15 from Iraq. And her favorite food is souvlaki. She loves to paint, swim, read, and learn languages. She speaks English, Greek, and Kurdish. And she wants to be a doctor and an artist.
Now we're going to show some children's art. Tara, can you please confirm the price of for the children's art? Are they $35 US dollars? Am I correct?
That's correct.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, because we haven't put the price there on the children's art. So the following art pieces are created by children refugees.
Roya is 5 years old and from Afghanistan. Her favorite food is pomegranates, and her hobbies, she loves all things sparkly. Her father is a tailor and she enjoys to learn from him. She likes learning Greek. Her dream is to have her mother passed away in Afghanistan.
The following pieces are all by children from the ages of 2 to 17 living in the Thiva refugee camp. And the refugee camp in Thiva, Greece is approximately 50 miles from Athens. Due to the remote location of the camp, it's difficult for volunteers to get to the camp, and therefore little aid is distributed. The camp community includes an estimated 800 people, including approximately 300 children. Most of the residents are from Afghanistan, Syria, and Kurdistan. There are 2 nonprofit organizations assisting in the camp, but the groups are mainly responsible for asylum cases and general support. Refugees are living mostly in containers. There are always new arrivals too, who generally are forced to live in flimsy tents. The children in this camp are like kids everywhere in the world. Their favorite foods include pizza and soda, as well as dishes from their homeland, such as biryani, rice, and kebab. In the future, they aspire to be engineers, mechanics, and lawyers. One of the young girls told Love Without Borders that she hopes to go to London because she feels her life would be better there.
Okay, I believe the next couple of paintings are by Kurdish women in the Thiva camp. And this says, the freedoms of our societies, from voting to the simple act of artistic expression, can often be taken for granted. It is easily forgotten that many of these freedoms were not afforded to the majority of women until recently. Worldwide, women still face enormous repression within all societies. And in patriarchal, repressive, war-torn nations, such as Afghanistan and Syria, self-expression is often banned. The Kurdish people have no home country, and women trapped in these situations face serious consequences for breaching such traditions and laws. Thiva refugee camp in central Greece is an isolated, overcrowded, and dangerous camp. Recently, Love Without Borders has been supporting, mentoring, and empowering over 200 of these women to finally have a voice. The Kurdish Women of Thiva is a sampling of these unsilenced voices. Much of the artwork has been created by first-time artists. Every work of art purchased creates an income for these women, helping them provide for themselves and their families. Each purchase helps them get one step closer to embracing the new freedoms they deserve.
I think that's all the art that we're going to show tonight. Yeah. So I'm going to show all the art again in the same, like following the sequence from number 1 to number 24. If you're interested in any of them that are not claimed by anyone just yet, you can look at the chat and see which ones are still available. Or if you absolutely want, one that someone has already claimed, you can still put your name down so that we can put you on the waiting list. All right, so sorry. Let me show everyone each one of them again. So this is number 1, Blue Nights by Olivia from Cameroon. Oh, my team is so efficient. Well done. Number 2, also by Olivia from Cameroon. Number 3, The Bird, Shanaz from Afghanistan. Number 4, Purple Skies, also by Shanaz. Number 5, Man and Woman by Shanaz as well. Am I going too fast? Number 6, also by Shanaz, The Cry. Number 7, Schoolgirls by Zakira. This is Kara's favorite and my favorite too. It's so rich, so many symbols in this painting. Also by Zakira, Refugee Camp. Number 9, The Dancers by Fatima. I've seen the real art of this one. It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. And then number 10, Ego by Nazcal from Iran. From number 11 to number 14, I believe they're all by Omar Benen. Number 12, Bongo. Number 13, Colorful Landscape. And number 14, well, number 14 is by Ubaid, Mother and Child. Ubaid from Yemen. Number 15, Going Green by Zara from Afghanistan. Number 16, The Flowers by Irina from Iraq. And then children's art, number 17 by Roya from Afghanistan. only 5 years old. Number 18, by a child living in FIFA refugee camp. Number 19, number 20, number 21, number 22, by a Kurdish woman in FIFA camp. Same, number 23. And number 24, also by a Kurdish woman who is currently living in FIFA camp. All right.
I also just wanted to clarify that the previously claimed number 4, Purple Skies by Shanaz, someone switched to number 5, so 4 is now available if Purple Skies interested anyone. And I do see everyone's claims. Thank you so much. I promise I am getting to you.
I also wanted to add one that's right behind me from Niba, because I realized that there is no art by Niba in the suitcase that you have, Vinci. So this is one of his pieces, and perhaps he can, Niba, if you can give us the title or a little bit about history about this painting, it would be amazing. The size is 30 by 50 centimeters.
Oh, right. Kira, could you please share with us the size of most of the art that we just showed? They're the standard size, right? How big are they? 20 by 30?
So the standard size for most of these paintings are 30 by 40 centimeters. I believe that's 12 by 16 inches.
Inches, yeah.
Most of them are less. This one's a little bit larger, but.
Could you please bring it closer, more like closely to the camera so that we can see it? Thank you. Neba, would you like to say a few words about your art piece? You are mute.
I'm so sorry. Yes, I most of the paintings I have been doing in Greece are mostly inspired by my thoughts and the stories of my experience. So this painting here is talking about an experience a child gets from their mothers in Africa before they become adults. So the mother is training the kids because she found out that my daughter is getting bigger, and she transferred her lectures and training to this little daughter. So she will always take her to the market to make sure they sell some food. So I have all these images on my mind. So every time I want to paint, I will try to give just my experiences.
Thank you, Niba. That's a beautiful piece.
Welcome.
Thank you, Neba. Whoever wants to buy the piece will also be able to remain in contact with you, right, Neba, and become friends with you. That would be so awesome, and to learn more from you and about you as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
looks like Steve has claimed.
Steve is the winner. Awesome. Yeah, Megan, I'll pass it back on to you.
Thank you. Beautiful paintings. Thank you so much. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight and for your support of Love Without Borders. If you decide later that you really did want a piece of art and it hasn't been claimed, you can reach out to us and we can share what is still available. you can do that at info@risetravelinstitute.org. And so now I'd like to open it up for any questions that anyone has for Keira, Neba, Vinci, or anyone else. It is 7 o'clock, so I understand if you need to leave, but if anyone has questions, maybe we can just take 5 or 10 minutes for that. And feel free to unmute or put your questions in the chat.
I just want to say it's been a fantastic and edifying event and beautiful art, passionate people. I appreciate everyone who's on here and just seeing all these images from the imaginations of people who are, you know, struggling against circumstances. And it's emotional and beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for your work, Keira, and for being here, Neva, and for everything. Vinci, of course, Rise Travel.
Any other questions? I had a question for Neba, but he seems, are you still here, Neba? There you are. I was just wondering if you could share with us, you know, what gave you hope through the whole experience and what kept you going?
Actually, when I was in the refugee camp, I didn't want to believe the environment I was in because it was a very difficult environment, and I look for various ways to distract myself, not to believe that I'm going through all this.
I think we lost him, but he's coming back.
Me.
Yes, I think we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. So this is when I start to look for means how to distract myself, not to put my mind and thoughts about the conditions I was living in, and seeing the situation, which is also not really comfortable for a lot of families, and like first of the experience I got in the refugee camp, which was really bad, was the conditions where we were sleeping. Oh, I think my network is really not really good.
That's okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. One more try.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I really have a bad network. But I'll try to keep it short so you can understand and know a little bit about what happened. So now I try to start creating art when I went to the school, and I went to the proprietor of the school, and I told them I want to volunteer and teaching art, because we didn't had an arts class, but we had English and maybe Greek and German classes. So this is when I walked to him and I told him, sir, I want to volunteer as an art teacher. And he wanted to see what I could do. And then I did some tour art and I presented it to him, and he was amazed about it. And he was like, okay, I'm going to give you a class and you're going to teach the other refugees on how to create an art, or maybe inspire them in your own way you could do it. So that is when I start to believe that I can have opportunities to make people smile and also please myself. So I think it started to be really active when I met with Kara, and I start to believe that I could pay my rent. I could look for food all by myself. I could buy my clothes and live a life which is kind of moderate, because I start to create so much as an artist and Kira is helping me taking the arts to USA, and the money that we sell this arts is really helping us in paying our basic needs. So I believe that if there is an opening somewhere, it means that we could always give the best that we also want to give in order to have a good position to live in Athens, because it's a very difficult city when you are a refugee.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Any other questions this evening before we close up?
Kara, do you have anything to add?
I just want to thank everybody for their time this evening. Thanks to Nipra for joining us as well. And some of these paintings they're so powerful because it's not just what's on the canvas, but the fact that we're able to bring these canvases and the color and the brushes to people that don't have the opportunity to paint in their countries, like the women from Afghanistan in Tiva camp. We had back-to-back events for these women, and to allow them to share what's on their heart and to be able to create where they're coming from. They don't have that opportunity. It's very empowering. And so we just really want to thank everybody for taking time out to listen to their stories. And these discussions that we're having this evening are so, so important and so powerful, because there's many people now still in those countries that are not able to paint, they're not able to create, and they're not able to live independently. And so we have to continue our work in order to allow the people that are able to have this option. And so it really takes communities like yours to be able to create this positive energy, and we really appreciate you all. So thank you.
Thank you, Kara, and thank you, Neba, for being here. And thanks to everyone for joining. I think we've come to the official end of the event. This has been really moving and wonderful. If you enjoyed tonight's event and you want to see more meaningful events like this, please stay tuned for updates on Rise Travel Institute's website and social media, and we'll try to bring you more events like this in the future. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight and for your support of Love Without Borders for refugees in need. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Team, would you like to stay on for like a couple of minutes? Thank you. Awesome. Bye. Thank you.